In the labyrinth of human consciousness, few things are more insidious than the beliefs we carry that limit our potential. These limiting beliefs act as invisible chains, holding us back from achieving our full capabilities. They whisper false narratives into our minds, creating barriers that seem insurmountable. But what exactly are these limiting beliefs? How do they infiltrate our minds? Why do beliefs exert such a powerful influence on our lives? What is it about limiting beliefs that act as invisible barriers, preventing you from achieving your true potential? And more importantly, how do you overcome these mental roadblocks? Limiting beliefs are deep-seated convictions that we hold about ourselves, others, or the world around us. They are the internalized assumptions that dictate our behaviors, choices, and ultimately our lives. These beliefs often manifest as negative self-talk or restrictive thought patterns that convince us of our own inadequacies. For example, you might believe that you're not good enough, that success is only for others, or that certain goals are beyond your reach. These beliefs are not grounded in objective reality, but rather in the subjective interpretations of past experiences, societal influences, or erroneous conclusions we have drawn about ourselves. Take for instance the belief that you are terrible at public speaking. Perhaps as a child, you had an embarrassing moment in front of the class, and since then you've convinced yourself that speaking in public is not your strength. This belief might lead you to avoid situations where you could develop this skill, thereby reinforcing the notion that you are indeed poor at the public speaking. The cycle becomes self-perpetuating. Your beliefs limit your actions, which in turn strengthens the belief. Another common example is the belief that success is unattainable unless you possess certain qualities or have access to specific resources. This belief might stem from observing others who seem to achieve effortlessly while you struggle. Such a mindset can lead you to give up before you've even started, because you've convinced yourself that you're not equipped to succeed. The impact of limiting beliefs on our lives can be profound and far-reaching. At their core, they restrict our potential by creating psychological barriers that we perceive as real. These beliefs narrow our vision, causing us to focus on obstacles rather than opportunities. They foster a mindset of scarcity, where we see the world as full of limitations rather than possibilities. This can lead to a life of unfulfilled potential, where we settle for less than we are capable of achieving. Imagine a person who believes they're inherently bad relationships. This belief might cause them to avoid deep connections, fearing rejection or failure. Over time, this person might find themselves lonely and isolated, confirming their belief that they are indeed unworthy of meaningful relationships. The belief becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, not because it was true to begin with, but because the person's actions or inactions made it true. Similarly, consider someone who believes that they are not creative. This belief might stem from a few failed attempts at creating endeavors in the past. Because of this belief, they might avoid situations that require creative thinking, opting instead for tasks that feel safer and more predictable. Over time, their creativity becomes stunted, not because they lack creativity, but because they have convinced themselves that they do. Limiting beliefs can also impact our physical health. If you believe that you are not capable of maintaining a healthy lifestyle, you might neglect your physical well-being, leading to poor health outcomes. This belief might cause you to avoid exercise, ignore healthy eating habits, and resign yourself to a sedentary lifestyle. Over time, this can lead to serious health issues, further reinforcing the belief that you are incapable of changing. Now, there are 3 simple steps to overcoming limiting beliefs. Overcoming limiting beliefs requires a deliberate and conscious efforts. It's not enough to simply recognize these beliefs. We must actively work to dismantle them. So here are 3 critical steps that you can do. First step in overcoming limiting beliefs is to identify and name them. This requires introspection and willingness to confront uncomfortable truths about ourselves. Being by paying attention to your self-talk, the internal dialogue that runs through your mind throughout the day. Notice when you use phrases like I can't, I'm not, or I don't. These phrases are often indications of limiting beliefs. For example, if you find yourself thinking, I'm not good at managing money, reconcile this as a limiting belief. It is crucial to name these beliefs because doing so brings them into the light, where they can be examined and challenged. Often these beliefs have been with us for so long that they feel like indisputable truths. Naming them allows us to see them for what they are, opinions, not facts. Once you have identified a limiting belief, next step is to examine the evidence that supports or contradicts it. This step involves a critical evaluation of the belief, looking at it through the lens of reason and logic. Ask yourself, what proof do I have that this belief is true? How many times have I actually failed at this task? And when I did fail, were there external factors at play that contributed to the outcome? For instance, if you believe that you're terrible at public speaking, reflect on the times you've spoken in public. Were there instances where you performed better than you expected? What feedback did you receive from the others? Often you'll find that the evidence supporting your limiting belief is either weak or non-existent, maybe even filled with the many fake what-if scenarios or even fictional events from movies that made you relate while it didn't happen to you. In many cases, you'll realize that the belief is based on a handful of experiences that do not accurately represent your true capabilities. It is also important to consider where your self-talk has played a role in perpetuating the belief. If you constantly tell yourself that you're going to fail, this negative self-talk can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. By acknowledging this, you can begin to silence the inner critic that feeds your limiting beliefs. After examining the evidence and realizing that your limiting belief is unfounded, it is time to replace it with a new, empowering belief. This new belief should be rooted in a reality and focused on your potential rather than your perceived limitations. For example, if your limiting belief was, "I am terrible at the public speaking," replace it with, "I have the ability to improve my public speaking skills with practice and preparation." This new belief acknowledges that while you may not be a perfect speaker now, you have the capacity to grow and improve. It shifts the focus from a fixated mindset to a growth mindset, where your abilities are seen as malleable rather than static. This process of creating a new belief isn't just about positive thinking. It's about aligning your beliefs with the truth of your potential. By doing so, you create a mental framework that supports your growth rather than hinders it. In the process of overcoming limiting beliefs, it's essential to face reality head-on. This means acknowledging your current limitations while also recognizing your potential for growth. It's about finding the balance between accepting where you are and believing in where you can go. Dr. Barbara Fredrickson, Broadman build theory proves a compelling framework for understanding how a positive mindset can expand our horizons. According to this theory, positive emotions broaden our sense of possibilities and open our minds, allowing us to build new skills and resources. When we operate from a place of positivity, we're more likely to see opportunities rather than obstacles, and we're more likely to take actions that lead to growth. For example, a person who believes in their ability to improve their public speaking skills is more likely to seek out opportunities to practice, whether by joining a speaking club or volunteering for presentations at work. Each time they practice, they build new skills and confidence, which in turn reinforces their new belief. This positive cycle leads to a broadened range of possibilities in their personal and professional life. The journey to overcoming limiting beliefs is not about just removing obstacles. It's about unlocking your full potential. When you break free from the chains of limiting beliefs, you open yourself up to a world full of possibilities. You begin to see opportunities where you saw barriers, and you start to take actions that align with your true potential. This process of transcending limiting beliefs is deeply transformative. It requires a commitment to personal growth and a willingness to challenge long-held assumptions about yourself. Remember, it's like a muscle. At first, the evidence after hard work and effort might seem non-existent, but if you keep on practicing and trying, that muscle will grow bigger and stronger. The rewards are immense. By cultivating a mindset that supports your growth, you set yourself on a path to flourishing, a life where you're continuously expanding your capabilities, achieving your goals, and realizing your full potential. As you move forward, remember that the only true limitations are the ones you impose on yourself. By identifying, challenging, and replacing your limiting beliefs, you can break free from the constraints that have held you back and step into the future that is limitless as your potential.